some of the time, in order to just stop myself from just kind of spiraling on myself, right? I Alright, guys, welcome to a Dream Life season, the deep dives. This is the Home and Family Deep Dive for week one. I'm Kimberly Cox, your host. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. We are talking this week on Dream Life season about your future self, okay? So, to be that person who has those goals hit, who is living the life that you want, who do you have to be? When it comes to home and family, I want to talk about what home feels like, okay? So we all know that there is home, right? Which is where you live, your house, your residence. But have you ever felt at home somewhere else? Or have you ever been at your home and not felt at home? These are some things where we need to do some deep dives into what the feeling is we want for home, okay? And I know that we did earlier on Monday, we talked about what things light you up, okay? Now I want to talk about what possessions light you up, what colors, what feelings, I mean, there's so much in this world, right? We can be anywhere from pinks and frilly and satin and lace to, flannel and red and black and all of that, right? When you think of the feeling of home, what do you think of? Because I think a lot of times, especially when we're living with, other people, we are constantly trying to make everybody feel at home. And so we give and we kind of sacrifice or we kind of compromise what we want sometimes, which is fine, right? A home is a big place. But you should have a space, whether that's a room, whether that's a corner, whether that's little touches across your entire home. You know what you're capable of best. You know your best situation. Maybe you're somebody who, lives alone and you can create every room in your house to be that homey feeling place, right? Or maybe you have a lot of people in your home and you feel like there's not enough places, right? But you can find a corner or you can find a way to make a corner. I say that because sometimes when we have to share spaces, it's more about, okay, do I have a blanket and maybe a couple of pillows? Do I have a candle I can light? Do I have the kind of lighting that I would like? And then to be able to bring that all into one space where it doesn't have to be out all the time. But when you're in there using it for that, you can use it and have that homey feeling that helps you to recharge. Okay. I think a lot of times when we start to watch people um, blending families, blending what they want with what other people want, it can get kind of like, well, I don't know how how am I going to blend plaids, red and black plaid with pink and silver frilly, stuff. And it can feel kind of like a very sharp contrast. Okay. And sometimes, again, we have to think about the person using the space the most. Okay. If I am the one that's in the kitchen the most and I like the pinks and the frilly stuff and whatever, is it gonna hurt me to order a set of pink pans or have some pink utensils or some pink dish towels and stuff like that that I can use when I'm in there? Of course it's not going to hurt anything. In fact, probably nobody else is even going to see it, right? If I'm the one that's in there doing the stuff. Likewise, if you are not the one that is in there doing the stuff, then it's kind of a given to be like, okay, this is a space where you get to choose, whoever's in there the most, how it's decorated, what you want, things like that. If it's a big space where everybody's at, then creating that space of neutral where everybody can have a space and bring their own stuff to make it homey the way they want to when they want to, right? And I think that's important. Um, I think sometimes things like candles, right? Well, I like this scent and other people don't like that scent. And that's something where, okay, there are other ways of doing that. Maybe you need to find a space to do that. I know sometimes I will go into, if y'all don't know, this is my bathroom office, okay? I literally, right now, the situation that I'm in, I will do a lot of my recording during the day while everybody's awake, but I will do it in the office with my mini microphone here so that everybody can be in their areas enjoying and doing what they want, and I can record. The sound is a lot better with the little mini microphone, and it blocks out a lot of the other stuff, and then I'm able to get my stuff done, right? So if I do that, then when I'm recording, I can do stuff like this pumpkin banana scone candle. Oh my goodness, this thing is amazing. Amazing. And I can light that for a little bit when I need that little extra oomph. And literally, I'm in my bathroom. I can run the fan if I need to clear out the scent so other people, can, and I can shut the door if I need to for a little bit after I blow it out. Like there's ways that we can figure out how to do stuff, all right? And I think that it's important for us to, instead of kind of going, well, I'm just never going to get what I want, instead of being in that space, we have to be in the space of looking for the solutions. Not necessarily, and this I told my kids and I have been talking about this a lot lately. And that is the idea that you cannot solve a problem from the energy of the problem. So if all I'm doing is thinking about the problem, the problem, the problem, I'm creating more problems for myself because I don't have the ability to see the opportunities. I don't have the ability to see all of the whole perspective because I'm in this little corner over here just kind of churning round and round and round, right? But if I can let go of the problem and say, okay, sometimes we let go of the problem and we have to do something totally different, okay? Um, I took like 2 weeks off basically of content creation for the most part. I did a hit or miss thing here or there, but for the most part, I took like 2 weeks off over the holidays. And I thought I was going to get a lot of extra recording done. I was going to be ahead. I was going to be able to like go, okay, deep breaths, we did it. But my heart wasn't in it, and I just was not able to see the moving forward part of it, right? I was like, oh my goodness, everybody's all over the place. I have this to do, I have that to do. I don't have time, I don't have this, I don't have that. And I was in that problem mentality of how do I get everything accomplished? And so, some of the time, in order to just stop myself from just kind of spiraling on myself, right? I downloaded a couple of games on my phone, actually, several games. And I made sure they were games where I was going to be using my brain. Like they were, they're ones where you have to think, right? Because if I'm thinking about what I'm doing, I'm not thinking about the problem. And then I can let go of the problem. And if I do that long enough, I'm eventually out of that space where I can go do something else and it's not affected by what I'm thinking about with that problem. And, we do that a lot of times. You hear people say, if you're too frustrated about something, go take a nap. Like, go take a nap, recharge, let yourself relax fully. Because a lot of times when we're super tired, it's harder for us to find solutions. It's harder for us because we are not able to access all the parts of the brain. We're too tired to do that. So, there's a lot of different ways to do that kind of stuff, but when it comes to what feels like home, right? Having a space to go, having a little area even that's just like, okay, I can go here, I can just chill, I can recharge myself. I do that a lot in the mornings. Um, I go through my, certain personal development stuff and whatever. It's the reason I created Dream Life season because I was like having to switch between different videos in the morning, and I still do that. But having to switch between different videos in the morning made it harder for me to stay focused on what I was trying to stay focused on, and much easier for me to get distracted by things that weren't helping. Okay, like getting distracted by all kinds of, if you know YouTube, you know YouTube. Anything that you are watching, you're going to see more of, right? They're going to suggest that you watch more of. And I use YouTube a lot when it comes to like creativity and algorithm stuff and all of the different like social media trends and things. So I can easily go from a place where I'm trying to fill my cup up to a place where I'm overwhelming myself with more shoulds, more things that more people are telling me I should be doing. And again, we need to fill our cup up. We need to be in a space where we feel safe and comfortable, and that's home, right? That's what home is. Home is the space where you feel seen and you feel comfortable to be seen. You feel comfortable to be heard. You feel like you matter and you feel excited to do the things, right? That's home. So what kinds of things make you, make you feel at home, right? And when you write these things down, right? Write all the things down that you can think of that you're like, okay, maybe it's I like soft lighting. Maybe it's I like quiet. Maybe it's I like pinks and whatever. And you get all that stuff and you're like, okay, where does this fit? Right? And you don't always have to know the why right away. This is the other thing that I was saying in the other video that I did, where sometimes you have to I was actually saying this in the intro to Moonlit Creators experiment. Sometimes we have to be about our business and let stuff kind of unfold around us to see a solution, to see the way that things are going to happen. That doesn't mean it's never going to happen. That means that if I'm sitting here trying to rack my brain and I haven't come up with anything yet, then maybe I need to just find that one small thing that I can do, right? Like I said, I try to wake up early enough that I have a little bit of time to myself every morning. If by some chance I can't, I try to have backup plans for the week. So whether that's, okay, I have some really quick breakfasts that I can throw at my kids, and that way I don't have to worry. Like they can take care of themselves from there. I fed them. They're good to go on that. Now, if I need to take a few minutes to do what I need to do, I feel like I can do that in one piece. We're all good. And I still get to do what I need to do, right? But if I had to like stop and do dishes and cook something, and then I had to figure out what to cook, and there were all these steps in between, it would be so much more difficult for me to get back because now I'm already getting myself going about all the things that I have to do to get there, right? So, setting ourselves up, that's something that you can do. If you're like, okay, I know that let's, okay, if you are working a 9 to 5, let's say, and you work Monday through Friday, and your Sundays, you're just like, I know I need some time to be, I need some time to relax, then maybe it's important to make sure in the middle of the day you get your kids ready for school the next day. everybody has showers or baths early on Sunday. That way, all you have to do is like get them in bed and you can have that time to relax. You have that time to kind of get your cup filled up a little bit before the start of the week. Having grab and go options for lunch if your kids don't buy their lunch at school, or teaching them how to pack their own lunch. If that's like, there's all these different ways, right? You can sit and you can ponder what different things can I do to make life easier. And as you're sitting there thinking about the different things that you can do, I want you to do so without judgment. We do this to ourselves all the time. Well, I could do this, but this will happen. I could do that, but that'll happen. I want you to do it without judgment, okay? Because you don't know for sure that that's going to happen. And these are all things that you could do. It doesn't mean you're going to do them. Then I want you to pick one or two. Once you have that list, I want you to pick one or two and I want you to put it in the comments below. I want you to come back to this video, put it in the comments below, because we are all here to help and support each other, okay? That's what we're here for. This is your community to help support you in moving forward on whatever that is that you are busy doing, right? Um, and if it's, let's say it's okay, I can get my kids, ready for school by say 5 o'clock at night. And then we can eat dinner at like 5 or 6. And then, I can have some spare time before I have to turn around and get them in bed and then get myself ready for bed. And maybe you let go of some things. Maybe you're like, okay, I'm going to let them kind of just do whatever once they're ready for the night until it's bedtime. And if they choose to do something that's going to hype them up too much, well, then when they have to get up in the morning and they didn't get good sleep, they'll learn their lesson. Sometimes I think we try to micromanage every little thing, and it gives us so much more anxiety than if we were to just say, okay, like there's some things that I can control and there's some things that I can't. So I'm going to do what I can with the things that I can control, and what I can't control, I'm going to let go, because I can't control it and I can't force myself to control it. So if I can just take a deep breath and do the thing, right? All right. So, what does home feel like? What does home feel like? I want you to think about that. I want you to journal on that. I want you to, you can voice journal, you can write it out, you can talk to a friend about it. But I want you to take the rest of this week, and I want you to think about what some things that you can do to create a space that feels more like home for yourself. Because when we feel more at home, we're going to be a higher version of ourselves. We're allowing ourselves to be that version that we need to be to have the higher goals that we want. All right, I'm Kimberly Cox. This has been your home and family deep dive for this first week of the new year. I am so excited to have you guys here. Come back, watch Friday's episode on our passion projects. I am so excited to record that. Keep watching Dream Life season every morning. There's so many great nuggets that are being dropped every single day on this show. You just never know what exactly is going to hit, right? All right, guys. I love y'all. Have an amazing day, and I will talk to you guys later.